Hi, I am a 27-year-old woman based out of Delhi NCR. I was 7 years old when it first happened and 8 when it happened for the second time with a second family member. The first time when it happened, it was my paternal grandfather. My parents had gone out for the evening, leaving me alone with him, and he used that as an opportunity to abuse me. The second time around, it was my mom's cousin brother, and while playing one afternoon, he must have been about 19, 20 at that point. So it was just me and him playing some game, I don't remember, but what I do remember is, what he did to me, and, it still haunts me today. When it happened for the first time, I told my parents what had happened. I was very confused. I didn't know what had happened to me. All I knew was that I was in a lot of pain. My parents didn't know how to react, and I actually enacted everything out to my mother. While my father didn't really say much, actually he didn't say anything at all. The very next evening when my parents had to go out again, and he was okay with leaving me alone with him again, I was really hurt. And even today, it still hurts me to know that my father did not stand up for me, like my very own biological father. He couldn't take a stand for me because it was his father in question. My mother was the one who raised her voice against it. And in exchange, my grandparents just asked us to leave the house. The second time around when it happened, I told my mom and maternal grandparents the very instant. And what they did was throw him out of the house. They asked him to leave. They asked him to, move to Punjab where my grandparents own property. I'm actually going to say that this incident haunts me more often than not because I developed a nightmare problem since then, wherein I get repeated nightmares of abuse happening to me again and again and again, and me being completely helpless and not being able to do anything about it. And I have woken up almost every night sweating, screaming, crying, asking for help. So, yes, the incident affects me even today. It affects how I see the world, it affects how I think about the opposite gender in general. And I do confide into my mother about it. I keep her in the loop. So, whether it's a nightmare or whether it's a bad memory flashback, I always do talk to her about it because she's been my biggest support through all of this and she's helped me move on from there. I haven't ever considered approaching the legal system really because, very frankly, considering how the legal system in India works, it would just mean, get going through a lot of rounds of the court and, having to relive everything that had happened. And I don't think I will ever be prepared to do that to myself. I have received psychological help. I have seen various counselors time to time, and no, it hasn't helped. Psychological help, while important to move on from the incident per se, it hasn't really helped my brain put it behind. Talking about it on a public platform right now, it doesn't make me feel like I've had a sense of justice, but it does make me feel happy about the fact that childhood sexual abuse is a subject that people are willing to now talk about. Back then, like 20 years back, if my family had actually done something about it, things would have been a lot different for me also. Like, I think if I had gotten justice back then, I would have probably been an altogether different person today. Like, I probably wouldn't have my nightmares. I probably wouldn't, have so many trust issues. So, I think it's really important to talk about it, and I'm really glad that Quint is doing this.